Good afternoon, KW Southway. How's everyone doing today? Can you believe we have a week left till the end of September? Q4, quarter 4 of 2025. Yeah, it's bananas. I was having a conversation with two of my agents that are partners this morning, and they've done really good this year in production. But I told them, what is the expectation and the goal till the end of December? They want to do 6 more deals. I says it's doable, right? 90 days may be short, but if you're doing the activities, folks, I can promise you, you will see results. And even if it doesn't, right? Even if you close 3 or 4 deals, the beautiful thing is you're building the pipeline for 2026, first quarter of 2026. So I'm super excited about all that, and more so the holidays, October with Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and all that fun stuff. So I really, truly appreciate you being here. We have a lot of great stuff. I also have Laura Peterson with risk management coming in and giving you some insights to some of the horror stories that she sees from a risk management standpoint. So you guys all ready?
Yeah.
I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure to please silence your phones out of respect of the team meeting. Please make sure you silence your phones, okay? We don't want any interruptions. Next slide. All right, our mission is to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. Our belief in the value of your own company aligned with your own beliefs, you know you found your professional home. And our vision is to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. Absolutely. Why is development a crucial component to success? Why is training important? Why is coming to sales meeting important?
Get knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge is power, right? The ability to learn the most latest stuff that's happening right now in our industry. This is why Eric Claudio does his role plays, right? Which today he was a little under the weather, so he asked if I can step in and help, which not a problem. But we were going over 25 of the most crucial objections, right, for buyers and sellers. And surprisingly, it's not that difficult to be able to handle buyer and seller's objections. But the more you practice, the better you're at. Next slide. All right, again, just a friendly reminder, our support team. These are the faces that you see on a regular basis. And know that we're here to support your businesses. Next slide. And our ALC as well. You know, so many years of experience in front of you that you can reach out to them and ask questions, right, as well. Next slide. And I want to introduce the newest agents, Irene, Michelle, and then Wendy. I think, where's Wendy? There he is. Wendy, if you don't mind standing up real quick, just giving us a quick little 3-minute bio or 2-minute bio or 1-minute bio of yourself.
Hi, I'm Wendy Shatan Shortland. I lived in the South Bay for over 30 years. I come from a corporate sales background, so I'm making the transition over into real estate. I'm super excited and I'm looking forward to growing my business, and I'm happy to be here with Keller Williams and learning all of the taking advantage of all the training and resources that we have. So thank you.
Beautiful, awesome. Yeah.
Hi, my name's Irene Sandoval Ramirez, and my background before was in the dental field. There for 30 years, I transitioned to real estate, and I'm here with Keller Williams. I'm really excited and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, well, we're excited for you to follow up as well. Thank you. Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. Next slide. All right, just a quick reminder, this afternoon at 2:30, online leads, how to set up your account and lead screening. Okay, we're excited to announce that our office is officially enrolled in this new Realtors.com online lead system. So if you're interested in being part of this and get an understanding, please make sure to be in the training room. It's gonna be on Zoom, I'm corrected, it's gonna be in person. So please make sure to be here at least 15 to 30 minutes, okay, just because we may have a lot of agents wanting to get a little bit more in the ins and outs and how to provide leads, okay? So this afternoon at 2:30. Live. All right, now let's thank our lunch sponsor, Andre with Termite Guides. Let's give them a warm welcome, please. What's happening?
Not much. Did you guys see the termite swarm that just happened last week?
No.
Yeah, they were playing at everybody's houses, so I had like 1 million phone calls.
Wow, you did.
Yeah, because normally when this heat comes around and when it's that rain hit overnight, I had people all across this whole area just calling me. It just stirs up the termites and they start flying out of the walls, and it's when I yelled, keep going. I don't know if you ever looked at dried up termites and had red heads, they fly around. But a lot of times when you're dealing with termite swarm, your best case is to tent the house. We do offer heat treat alternatives, no, but that's usually you have to walk the property, make sure that house is a candidate for heat treatment. Yes.
Last week, I was wondering what those were, and they were in my pool, they were covering my
Yeah.
pool. Does that mean it's coming from my house?
See the fence, neighbor's yard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just right now the heat kind of stirred them up right now, and it's like, this is my time to shine. Yeah, so. Let me talk about the termite guy, the company itself. We've been in existence since '96, family-owned business. We have an office in Thousand Oaks. We do termite inspections from Thousand Oaks all the way down to San Diego. So if you need a termite inspection, you can call the number 877 termite. We do offer 24-hour turnaround inspections. So if I do an inspection on a Thursday, you have your report by Friday, but the only time we don't get out the reports is if it's on over a weekend, our office is closed. Something different about our company, we do offer a 5-year warranty on our fumigation. So if you do fumigate our property for your buyer, you're covered for 5 years. So anything does pop up or stir up, we do cover it on our end. In regards to the woodwork, we do primary clean otter wood, it goes up. So if you don't have to come back and have a handyman come back and repaint it or stuff like that. We take care of it all in-house. You guys have any questions? Any termite questions?
No, I think you pretty much set the tone for it. The question I always ask you is, the difference between a section 1 and a section 2, because I think a lot of agents misunderstand or under the misconception of what is section 1 is and section 2. Maybe you could
Yeah, so
explain it a little
question
bit
about
more.
section 1. Section 1 is usually active termite infestation or any active leaks or any active dry rot issues through the leak. Section 2 kind of goes into where the home inspection report goes in, water stains. So if I find a shower pan, a perfect example, when I go into the house and I find rotted wood, then that shower pan is considered a section 1 item. So I go underneath the house and I see the shower pan leak, and if there's no rotted wood involved, then it goes into a section 2 item. So a little difference between that. So anything that's active on the wood, it's considered a section 1 item.
Beautiful, awesome. Any additional questions for Andre? Yes.
So how much you charge to come out, let's say a 3-bedroom, 1,200 square feet on that?
For you for free,
Okay.
especially in the office, but like I said, if there's a termite clearance involved, we do charge $125. Meaning if I go there and I'll find no termites or no dry rot and I have to warranty the house, then it's $125 for the warranty. So normally if you know there's termites, an old house, 10 years, you always find something. I usually get out a report for free, especially for your office. So any questions, I give out my card, there's cards right next to the pizza. And then feel free to text me, keep me as a second opinion. Get anything that pops up, shoot me a text. I'll usually respond back within 24 hours.
Awesome. All right, let's give Andre a round of applause. Thank you very much. Yeah, absolutely. You can never go wrong with pizza for sure.
Okay.
All right, let me, not sure why. Let me omit Kathy real quick. Okay, so next, I'm super excited for our guest speaker. She is part of our risk management team. And this is that time of year where I'm excited because she'll illustrate and she will explain real estate horror stores. It just kind of fits as we go into October. So, oh, wait a minute, I'm looking at the wrong slide. My apologies. I'm looking at a different slide here, so I guess we have the calibrations a little bit. So I apologize. Laura, I know that you're on the call, so hold up a little bit.
No worries.
So we have a Fred with the 6 prospecting that win. That'll be on Monday, September 29th from 12 to 2 p.m. Where's Fred at? Fred, anything you want to add to that?
Anybody ever build a house without a foundation? Okay, then. If you've never built anything without a foundation, you'll notice without a foundation, just as when I was driving to work today, and I'm gonna laugh because y'all forgive me. Because what does my wife do every morning when she gets ready? She puts on foundation on her face, you know, to get a base for her makeup. You know, but as realtors, you really need a foundation, and this KWU class 6 personal perspectives is the foundation of your real estate business. So I'm asking you to invest some time, 2 hours on Monday, 2 hours on Tuesday, and 2 hours on Thursday. And I've even got Chris to give us a celebratory lunch when we have everybody together on Thursday when we complete. So want you to get this. This is one of the foundational classes that KWU has. And so we want you to come out, and I would love to have you in the class. So go ahead and scan the QR code and register. And once you register, you'll be in the pool so that I can reach out to you and get you the materials that you need. All right. All right. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Fred. He's trying to be part of the faculty and certify under KW University. So we're super excited about that, Fred. And it's been a minute since we actually had the 6 perspective. So I'm looking forward to it. All right, next we have Laura Peterson with RERN, Real Estate Risk Management, giving us some real estate horror story. Laura, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you see me okay?
Yes, we can definitely.
Great. Okay, well, thank you so much for having me with you here today. Just a little brief history about this class. Back when COVID first broke out, people couldn't get together, people weren't laughing. And so when it came October time, I thought, you know what? I have worked in the real estate industry for 30 years. I have so many stories pertaining to real estate horror stories. So why don't I put together some slides just to keep people in the loop of what's going on, maybe have a laugh, maybe have a little scare. I promise this is not too scary, but this year we decided to do the best of real estate horror stories. So for all the classes that I've taught, these are the slides that we felt had the most reaction. After this presentation is over, if you have questions, I welcome you to ask the questions. Also, we are going to be providing classes for those agents that have not learned about real estate risk management and what it does for you on a monthly basis with your office. So lots of good information is going to be provided to you. Next slide, please.
Stop sharing the screen, that's what we.
Yeah, Natalie, I think you stopped sharing screens. There we go. Okay, here we go.
Okay. This is one of my favorite subjects. I have agents from 6 states that call me all the time. Laura, do I have to disclose? And before it even comes out of their mouth, yes, you do. But let's have you talk with one of the attorneys to get the least impact on the transaction. Now, here in California, there is a law called stigma law. So, and this came from a case where there was a lawsuit where the man had purchased the property and he found out that the seller didn't disclose a crime that had happened there 10 years prior. He felt that it affected the value of the property and the courts ruled on his behalf. Now, for you as the real estate agent, if you know it, you must disclose it without a doubt. Simon and I are on the phone a lot together talking about agents trying to find a way to not disclose something. Trust me, the last thing that you want is to not disclose something and have it take away 6 months of your productivity after the close because you're having to go to depositions, court hearings. I think Simon can attest that court hearings can last for years and legal actions.
Yep.
Okay, so stigma it talks about here is that you have to disclose it, and NAR agrees. So please make sure, if you don't know how to disclose something, talk to your broker management team, talk with one of the attorneys, get the legal advice, get the legal verbiage, so that way you are properly disclosing this. So when the buyer moves in, they can't come back and say, well, the nosy neighbor came over and told me that there was a death in this property and it wasn't disclosed to me. We always want to make sure you're disclosing those things. Okay. There we go. Okay. Another one of my favorite stories. This happened actually quite a while ago, but buyer and seller were represented by the same agent. And there was an above ground pool in the backyard, one you can get from like Costco. And the neighbor came over and said, hey, are you taking that pool with you? He goes, well, no, it stays with the property. It's piped in. Oh, okay. The buyer moves in, the pool's gone. Calls the real estate agent. The real estate agent calls the seller and the seller says, no, I didn't take it. I left it. Goes, why don't you go look over? Are you at the property right now? He goes, yes, I am. He goes, can you go look over the fence? He looks over the fence and there is the pool set up in the neighbor's yard. So the seller and I end up calling the neighbor and saying, hey, do you have, by chance, did you take that pool and set it up in your yard by mistake? Nope. I bought the pool at Costco. Okay, well, before we contact the police and have them come and talk to you, make sure you have that receipt from Costco showing that you purchased it. He's like, okay. We said, look, just return the pool in good condition. Let's get it set back up. There won't be any problems. But the buyers definitely do not have barbecues with that neighbor. So it was a good forewarning of who they were moving into next to. So next slide, please. Okay, I don't know how many of you saw this when it was being listed. It was during COVID. This was a house in South Lake Tahoe that was owned by two gentlemen, and they had these mannequins and dresses throughout the entire house. And they insisted that during the listing, these mannequins were not to be touched and they were to remain where they were, and they wanted it part of the listing. Now, to complicate things even more, the house was so filthy, it was like teenage boys were living there in the bathroom, in the kitchen, and things like that. But the notoriety of this property made national news. They were talking about this in New York. It was on Good Morning America. So, if you think you have, a tough sale, think about situations like these. Next slide. Okay, here's another unique listing. Some people, they have unique properties. We have here a house that's actually a cabin that's built on top of each other. Structured is over, he stopped at 200 feet because of federal airspace begins. And so, but he built this cabin on top of each other, property sold. This other one in the middle with the glass floor, that what is below that glass floor is the entryway into the house. And this is the bathroom. So when you're going to the bathroom, you're looking down at the entryway. And when people are walking in, they're looking up at the bathroom. Very unique listing. These other two, this is a goose house. The lady really liked geese, so they decided to build a house that looked like one. And then there's another property here. The person was really into shoes. And so they had this house built that looked like a shoe. Old Mother Hubbard, live in the cupboard, But anyway, so these are some unique listings. So whenever you feel like, hey, this property is so damaged, I don't know how we're going to sell it. Think about the complications that these listing agents had to face. Next slide, please. Okay, this was probably in my first 5 years of working at Real Estate Risk Management. We had an agent that went to an open, a tour, not an open house, a tour. and she claimed she lost an earring during the tour. She went back to the house, used the lockbox, went into the house, looked for the earring, and then she noticed a vase, and she was touching the vase, and she actually ended up breaking a piece of the vase off in her hand. So instead of calling the listing agent, she took the vase home with her because she thought she was really crafty and she could glue it together and it would be okay. Well, she put it out on her crap table in the backyard, and the neighbor's dog came over and smashed the vase, destroyed it. The vase was quite valuable. When the sellers came home, they called the police because they wanted to make a criminal report because the value of the vase was over 25,000. So they called the listing agent. The listing agent said, let me check with MLS, let me find out. And they found out that that other agent was there. When the agent was confronted by her broker and the police, she denied it. She said, no, it wasn't me, it wasn't me, it wasn't me. And so finally they said, okay, we are going to be pressing criminal charges because you were the last person in the house. So finally she admitted to it, she confessed to it. She was arrested for grand theft, convicted, served time in jail, and her real estate license was revoked. So if something happens when you're at a property, no matter how small or insignificant it might be, and you're representing the buyer, always contact the listing agent and say, hey, I dropped a drop of coffee on the carpet. I accidentally scraped a wall. My buyer's kids ran through the house and, they knocked something over. Always be completely transparent, because if you're transparent in the very beginning, we can mitigate this and stop this from becoming a lawsuit in the end. Next slide, please. How many of you recognize these two young ladies on the right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, this is Britney Spears and Brittany Murphy. This is a house that made a lot of news in the last 10 years. Britney Spears owned this house, and when she moved into it, she didn't like it. She said, no, I don't want to live here. So she sold it actually to Brittany Murphy. As many of you know, Brittany Murphy died in this home. They couldn't exactly tell what it was. They believe it was some severe mold that was into the house prior to her death and also prior to the death of her husband. It became also a documentary on Netflix. After becoming well known, the new buyer of the property actually tore it all down. Everything went away, and they rebuilt this house on the right at the bottom, which is beautiful and modern. Agents ask, hey, do I have to disclose the history about this property, even though it's a new house? Yes, it's stigma. Stigma law means that people could be coming by the house, taking pictures of the house, things like that. So if you know it, you must disclose it. Next slide, please. Okay, I live in Sacramento, California, and I don't know if any of you know who this is, but this woman back in the 80s, she ran a boarding house for people that didn't have family and were on Social Security. She was convicted of killing 7 of her tenants and burying them in the backyard. Her name was Dorothy Fuentes. This house, the police were there for months, going through the basement. It was awful. So finally, a couple bought the house and they've turned it into a tourist attraction. They have a sign on it that says it was that awful, awful woman that did it. Don't blame me, the house. They do tours of it. They actually have a mannequin in the backyard of her. But this is a notorious case, real estate horror case. And this house has definitely changed hands multiple times. But just remember, you can always find a buyer for any type of property. It's just finding that right buyer. Next slide, please. Don't judge a house by its exterior. In the bottom center is what this house looks like on the outside. It's pretty, it's nice, it's in a neighborhood. If you look at these other pictures, you will see that it actually looks like a dark, dark dungeon. The floors are all tile. There is, there's like a bed altar that was left in one of the rooms. All the windows are blacked out. So, you know, again, I have agents that, I was just on a case, sight unseen. The agent did not go visit the house, and the buyer did not go visit the house. And then walked in and it was a mess. It wasn't to this extreme, but it was a mess. So please remember, don't just say, oh, this is a great house, or look at the old pictures on the MLS or online, because things can change very rapidly. Okay. Okay. Was my house in a TV show? You live in Southern California. There's TV crews everywhere. I always think it's really important to ask your sellers, has your house ever been on TV, in a commercial, or in a movie? This house is why. The buyers bought it, and shortly after they bought it, they noticed that people were coming by the house. They were going in the yard and they were taking pictures, and the buyers found out that the home had been on the TV series American Horror Stories and had a big cult following. The buyers filed a lawsuit against the seller and the listing agent, claiming that none of it was disclosed to them. The buyers actually moved out of the house. They live in Orange County, and they used this house as a virtual Halloween event in Hollywood, but they still own it. There were a lot of really creepy things that I read about that were in this house, like a hidden Bible in a cabinet under a drawer. There were they said that they were always hearing noises, a haunted house. So make sure that you ask your clients, hey, has your house ever been TV, commercial, or movies? Okay, next slide, please. Okay, something smells fishy with this transaction. Living next to the ocean, you get a lot of different smells at times. And in this case, the buyer was viewing the property, and the buyer smelled something in the house. And they're like, what's that? What is that smell? And the agent made the comment, oh, it's the sea air. Don't worry about it. It'll go away. For 2 years, the buyers lived with the smell, and finally they had to have a construction company come out and evaluate it. And there was a buried septic tank and oil tank leaking into the property. So it is definitely something that should have been disclosed. It wasn't disclosed. One of my great friends, Anna Greenstein Kudla, who is an attorney, she actually handled this case, and it was very, very interesting. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, this case gave me the heebie-jeebies, and I don't get the heebie-jeebies. The buyer bought this property, and the property was not in good condition, and she understood that. But she started noticing after she moved in that these fungus was growing out of the walls, out of the baseboards, out of the tile, out of the grout in the bathrooms. And upon investigation, they discovered that the house had previously had the repair done to have this nasty fungus removed. Not only that, the buyer found a YouTube video of the company that restorated the property to get rid of this fungus. None of this was disclosed to the buyer by the seller or by the listing agent. So guess what? Unfortunately, the seller passed away, and unfortunately, the listing agent passed away during COVID. So that left the buyer and the buyer's agent. Guess who they sued? They sued the buyer's agent. So yeah, this was definitely one of the cases that I did not like looking at the pictures. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, can I see the group again, Simon?
You see what?
Can I see the group again?
The group?
The office?
Wave, everyone.
There we go, there we go. Thank you, there, everybody, hi, okay. How many of you remember the movie Poltergeist? Show of hands. Show of hands. Okay, so this is actually the town where I live. Rancho Murieta, California, which is in Sacramento County. And according to the case histories, the developers that came in to build a section of Rancho Murieta, there was a graveyard. And they were not all marked graves. Rancho Murieta used to be gold country, so a lot of miners would come out here and pass away and they just bury them. No covering or tombstones. So in 2005, there was a huge article by one of the local newspapers, Sacramento News and Review, and they claimed that this was the poltergeist of Northern California. It is available. You can look this up online. Does Rancho Murieta have a few little ghost stories running around? Yes. Have I ever experienced something like this in my pool? No, I have not. I would not be living here if I did. But it is, it's funny because I always ask when I buy my houses, has anyone passed away in the house? And I know the sellers have their statute of limitations, but the agents do not. So always remember, if that is something that your client is sensitive to, where that is definitely something I'm very sensitive to, I would definitely not want to buy a house that somebody passed away in, where my husband would say, I don't care. That's good. Let's buy it. So anyway, next slide, please.
I think that's all the
Is
slides.
that the end of the deck? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Does anyone have any questions?
No, but I can share a story with you, Laura. The one where the Bible, several years back, I ended up buying an investment property in South Central. And as the contractors were doing the demo on the chimney, they started chopping away at the mounted part of it, and behind it on drywall, there was newspaper covering it, and then behind that newspaper, there was an actual Bible. Yeah, and based on when I saw the Bible, it was from the 70s. So it's been there for almost 48 years, something like that. So
Wow.
yeah, interesting. Thinking like, what else? These walls, right? So yeah, awesome. Good information, Laura. Thank you so much for providing us with these horror stories. I can't wait till next year of what new stuff you have to provide us. So again, the beautiful thing of the office is we have risk management. You should have a link to the portal. If you need to speak with an attorney, they are easily accessible to have a conversation. A lot of the stuff, I can typically navigate for you, but if I need to escalate it, I escalate it to Laura and her amazing team that will give you the perspective and the avenue on how to navigate a potential issue. The whole purpose of risk management is to litigate and diffuse or de-escalate a circumstances before it becomes a actual lawsuit or a liability. So this is the importance of why you should align yourself with an amazing office that has that support behind as well. So Laura, again, thank you so much for all you do for us.
No problem. Everybody have a great day. If you have any questions, please reach out to us.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. All right, well, let's go ahead and continue. All right, now we have Matt and Javier with Fidelity National Title. Let's give them a round of applause. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I thought I saw Matt.
He is here. He's lagging. Lagging behind me.
There he
How
is.
are you?
What's happening? How you
If you
doing?
don't have a flower, let me know. We can be sure and give you some. I got some extra shirt. That right there, is that okay? Everyone see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Where'd Matt go? Disappeared. Okay. I'm Javier. That's Matt. We're with Fidelity National Title. And we handed out this flyer. And this flyer is for a new product that we launched around 3-ish weeks ago called Live in Here. And in mine and Matt's opinion, this is probably the single greatest tool we've ever launched. I mean, I personally think it's probably better than Fidelity Agent One, which is the NetSheet app.
Really?
And every agent should have that app. And there's a lot of issues or a lot of things that this product can help you solve. But the first thing is, here's what we all know. So sorry, Matt, I just kind of jumped right into it.
Go ahead,
But everyone is going after your clients aggressively. And you are also going after other people's clients aggressively. That's what prospecting is, and you should be prospecting on a daily basis. Number two, your clients are being bombarded with information, but it's really short on personalization. Everything is general. Maybe the only thing that's personalized to them is their name in the first sentence or second sentence of that email, maybe their address, something along those lines. And everyone is marketing to past clients like their leads, if they're really being marketed to at all. Right? And so we want to change what that narrative looks like, because our company did a survey, and what they found is 80 to 90% of consumers said that they would work with the same agent again, but only 1 in 5 of those people actually work with that agent again. You kind of hear that same stat over the years in multiple different ways, shapes, and forms, 20% of those people, so on and so forth. But the biggest reason why is because it's really hard to build a meaningful relationship that lasts longer than 6 years. And that's based off of a national average, but the truth is, in the South Bay, our average time that someone stays inside of their home is a lot longer than 6 years.
like 14 to 20 years, depending on the zip code.
So
It's
we're
literally that long.
trying to build relationships over decades, right? And provide good service to get referrals, so on and so forth. And the second part of that survey is 88% of people said that they would be interested in a monthly update on how much their home is worth. And only 17% of those people are currently receiving that update. I thought this number would be higher, but 44% of people said the effort to maintain a home was more than they had expected. And then 62% of people said that they're very or extremely interested in a secure dashboard to store everything related to the home. And that's where Live It Here is going to come into play. And part of our goal with this is to never let your client become another agent's lead. We want to help you stay connected to that client over time. So we found a solution that enriches your database. Part of that enrichment is finding missing components of that database. I look at a lot of agent databases, so does Matt. It's not always complete. And by complete, I mean name, address, phone, email. There's always a missing link here or there. Tells you who's most likely to sell or who's most likely to transact. Tech that provides value for your clients while eliminates others that you might be paying for. And I think probably most importantly, a single sign-on, right? Because who wants another password? I don't, even though I use the same password for everything. So we found that tool for you. I'm gonna skip this slide, and it's called Live In Here. So Live In Here is going to offer your clients their own personal dashboard where they can store everything related to their home. The first thing it does is it provides a home value. And that home value is right up here. It's a little small. I'll show you some other screens where it's a little bit bigger. And that home value is coming from 3 sources: Zillow, Cotality, and Atom. And the home value up here at the top is going to be an average of those 3 numbers. And the reason that the company is providing Zillow is because if your clients are already going to Zillow anyways, we might as well show them Zillow with your face on it. Makes it I think a little bit better for you, right? It's going to show them what their equity looks like over time, and it's going to give them their own homeowner hub, which is going to update them on equity, maintenance, repairs, improvements, and everything related to real estate. And all of the marketing is going to be automated, and all of that marketing is going to be coming from you. The onboarding process for a homeowner is very, very simple. They click on a link and a button in an email. They just enter in their name, their email address, and their address. And then they can claim their homeowner hub, and then they can get added to your dashboard.
So on what he's saying there, sorry to interrupt you, Javi. See where on the side there it has some graphics? Those would be emails from you. So when you're looking at those are 2 different emails that would be coming from you. Because it's going to be basically your account offered to the homeowner. Has nothing to do with us on the back end. There's no connection in that regard. It's just your picture, your branding sent to the client when you're touching them.
You're also going to get landing pages that you can use, and those landing pages can be embedded into your website. They can be used on flyers with QR codes. So it's not just something for your past clients, it's also something that you can use in your prospecting efforts. You can use it on your cold calls, so on and so forth.
Let me share on that. I just had a thought on that. So if you're a newer agent and you're thinking, well, this isn't necessarily for me because I don't have a huge database. Well, guess what? You could build a really good database by just door knocking a farm area, talking about this product. They can have a free hub from you where they can store their documents. They can manage their home. If they scan the QR code and sign up, you're a new agent, you could do that 3 days a week. And by the end of a year, probably have more than 100 homeowners inside your hub using this product. So you can be new and still use this. So just don't think about only a sphere.
What kind of document storage?
I'm gonna show you in a second. This is the part where I skip around multiple different slides, a few parts, just to show pictures. So bear with me for a second. But there's 2 emails that are gonna get sent to your client every month. One email is going to be their home value, and that's gonna be the same every single month. And there are multiple products that do that all have an open rate on that email of anywhere from like 60 to 70%. So super high open rate. The second email is how they can make homeownership a little bit more simple for themselves. It's going to give them tips on how they can build wealth. It's going to give them tips on how they can maintain their home a little bit better. And it's going to give them tips on how they can save money with their home. And that is where the homeowner dashboard comes into play. So when your client logs on the computer, this is where they're going to see, and you're going to see a section that says what's next. I'm going to show you a different version of a hub here in a second. There's yellow, green, and red, kind of like a
See those
stoplight.
dots on the left-hand side right
Right here.
there? Yeah.
Kind of like a stoplight, what's most important, what's urgent, what's medium important, like a stoplight, also kind of like an inspection report. But when your client, not when your client, I think this is a great tool as a closing gift for a buyer. There's 2 ways a buyer can get their list of appliances inside of their home. And this is where the marketing that's going to come from you to the end user is going to be personal to them. And Matt and I are both going to share a personal example of how we used it for our homes. So an inspector can go out to their house and scan in all of their utilities. Washer, dryer, water heater, AC unit, you name it, they can scan it into their homeowner hub. Or the homeowner can do it themselves. If the inspector does it, it's $150. If they do it, it's free. It just takes some time. Now, after that happens, the emails that are going to be sent out are going to be personalized to their utilities that they have inside of their home.
Their actual appliances.
Based off of the brand of the appliance, the age of the unit, how worn down that unit is, how much maintenance they've done to that unit over time. Everything is going to be completely personalized in terms of what they need to do to maintain their home and what those emails look like over time with every single appliance inside of their home. So real life example, I own 2 properties in Phoenix. I've done the bare minimum in terms of maintenance. I get my AC tuned up twice a year because you kind of have to when summers are 115 degrees. Spray for bugs every now and then. I have a landscaper that comes and I have a cleaner that comes like once every 3 to 6 months to make sure the tenants aren't destroying the house. But I got an email from my Live In Here account because I paid the $150 to have the inspector go out to my property and scan in all my stuff. And it told me that I need to clear out my air ducts. Never done it in the 4.5 years that I've owned both of those properties. And so I had the guy go out and do it, and they sent me a picture. It was disgusting. It was just dirt and dust and dog hair, everything you can imagine stuck in my air ducts for my AC unit. So I ended up cleaning it out, and over time, my tenants actually ended up saving $50 a month on their electricity bill. So when your electricity bill is $300 a month, it's kind of nice to save that $50 here and there. I also had someone go out and clean my condenser coils. I don't live there. That was also one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Because I don't know how many of you guys have ever pulled your fridge out and cleaned that out, but there's a lot of stuff that can get trapped under and behind a fridge. And that helped my fridge run a little bit better. And I know Matt used it for something else, so I'll let him tell that
So
story.
yeah, we have a property in Tennessee and I had some issues with, I needed pest control because there's a painter out there right now and he called me and said, Matt, I think you have termites. Termites, really? Come on. So I looked up a company on the site because I have the house registered there. Referenced all these different pests. I chose one, they were out there, and I actually have carpenter ants. up in the wood. We don't have carpenter ants here as much as other places, but they eat away at the wood. So anyways, it was all done through the app. So it was really easy to use. We wanted to load property in there so we could experience it, right? I'm also going to pay the $149 for both properties because I want all my appliances registered. I mean, it's a great way to manage your home in a hub. It's just such a practical way. And I'll say this as an agent, it's the long-term play for you to stay in front of your clients without being salesy. Like without calling, hey, how's it going? You're trying to think about maybe they might sell. Well, guess what? They're just going to get touched by you with really helpful information for years because it's their property and they care about all of it. So it's a fabulous tool without being hard sell.
The other thing it can do is it can store all receipts. It can store all documents. So if you own a home, I know everyone who owns a home has a drawer filled with warranties, user manuals, random nuts and bolts, random screws that I have no idea what they go to, right? You can store all of that stuff, not the nuts and screws, inside of here. But what you can also do, and this is somewhat relevant because of what happened earlier this year, but you can go and you can take a video of everything inside of your home as you're going through, talk about what this is, show your valuable items, your jewelry, whatever else you might have inside of your home that's valuable. And then you can store it inside of the tool.
You can store the video.
So if there's ever a burglary or a fire or something happens, it can all be stored inside of your dashboard for insurance purposes. Right, because of what happened earlier this year, I think that's just very relevant.
Well, on that note, so if you close a buyer, there's a couple of ways you could do. You could offer to, as a closing gift, have their house have all the appliances loaded. That's up to you, or you can tell them how much it costs and how to do it, however you want to handle that. But you can also send their documents to upload their documents into their hub. So now they have all their closing escrows, their inspection, all that's inside, and it just gets them kind of started with loading things into the hub. And once it goes into the hub, it's private to the homeowner. The realtor cannot access it. They have no connection to it. And the other thing that sometimes agents ask is, well, are you guys going to market to other people? None of it is marketed to a third party. There's no emails that go to them, no solicitations. It's private to the homeowner and it's their space. It's even a space that you can't get into once the docs are loaded.
So what it'll also do is it's going to enrich your database. And what that means, if you just have like name and email or name and phone number, it's actually going to go out and find that person's address, which normally you have to pay anywhere from like 8 to 15 cents per homeowner for to do that. And it will do that for you, which is included in this tool's yearly cost. It tells you a confidence score, and then you have to link that address to that contact. But to me, just the amount of databases I look at with just name and phone or just name and email to find out where all of the people inside of your phone live, I think is really, really, really valuable. But you're going to get notifications on the back end on something that's called a propensity score or a likely to sell score, home value, mortgage information, property taxes, ownership, and property details. And there's these little bells right here that you can mark as green, where you can set alerts on anything that happens inside of your database's homeowner hub. So then you just get those notifications emailed to you, so you're not logging into the back end of the hub every day, checking what's going on. You're just getting email notifications on, so every time someone checks their home value, every time someone needs request a repair on like their water heater or mini split or whatever it may be, there's notifications that you can set up on pretty much everything, and you're going to see everything in the back end of your hub. So you'll be able to see how many contacts have properties, how many contacts have hubs. Properties and hubs are different things, right? And you'll be able to see how many people are likely to sell, and also listed for sale and sold and moved out. On the listed for sale and the sold and moved out, that is with or without you. So it's a good reminder on, hey, I need to stay in front of some of these people inside of my database, because you can click on all these little numbers and it will tell you who all of those people are. So on the likely to sell, you'll know who you need to start contacting a little bit more, having conversations with, so on and so forth. And these are real testimonials from real people. This product launched on the East Coast, and then it worked its way on over to the West Coast. So it's tested, tried and true, with real agents who've gotten real deals from using this tool. And the pricing is probably my favorite part. For For most people, you're gonna be in this little box right here, which is $199 a year. HomeBot is a comparable tool. HomeBot's $50 a month. There's also
It's only comparable on the valuation.
on the
It
valuation.
just has a valuation. There's probably not another product that has all these options within it as far as managing their home under one site.
HomeBot is $50 a month on your own or $25 a month with a lender, so that's also more expensive. Home IQ is more expensive. And the only other one really out there is called Fellow, and Fellow is multiple of hundreds of dollars a month. It is a yearly fee because they go out and they find all of your clients' property data. And they also go out and find all of your clients' mortgage data. And that mortgage data is very, very expensive and very hard to find. And with that mortgage data, that's how they're going to get their home value. And right here, it's a little blurry because this was a screenshot, but it says 76% of the home's value. So they're gonna find their mortgage data, they're gonna find their estimated interest rate, and they're gonna buy down that loan to give them how much equity they have inside of their home based off of the home's estimated value.
Who gives them the value?
So it's an average of three services: Zillow, Atom, and Cotality. And
Takes
that's where
three
you
and
get,
it makes an average of that number.
that's where you get the average of that 700.
And right on that page, so it has the average, and right below it, it's gonna say, would you like a custom CMA? Click here, that goes directly to you. So if they want a more refined value, it's gonna go to you as the agent who's providing the product.
But does it offer that if you're interested in refinancing, we have sources for you also?
Yes,
And who are those sources?
you put those sources in there.
You choose that. You choose that source.
So you choose all of your own referral partners. You choose all of your own handymen. You could put in Andre the termite guy, your own roofer, your own cleaner if you wanted to. You can favorite all of the service providers that are in the tool, or you can also load your own service providers inside of the tool. And if they're looking for a handyman, your service provider will be referred. If they're looking for a lender, your lender can be referred. Everything is tailored to who are your service providers, and then you can refer those out to your clients.
The one thing you can't
Put all that information.
You can load it in an Excel file,
load it in.
and that's also something that we can help you do on the back end too.
The one thing about the lenders that some of the products allow you to do is like one lender blankets all the homeowners and you have an agreement with them. This does not let you do that. It's one hub at a time. One homeowner at a time can be branded to that person, not blanket for the whole group, just so you know.
How much is it each inspection?
When they do the inspection, if they're gonna add the appliances and all that, it's $149.
You know,
Every
Yeah.
time.
One-time fee
now can you put?
for
back
each
the,
homeowner.
Slides?
Yes. What's that?
No.
I just asked Natalie to put back up the slides, and on that $150 fee, it's one time. I also look at that as you're working with buyers, that's a really, really good closing gift to offer that buyer, that $150 for the hub.
Just as an example of the value add, we have a West Side client. How many? 25,000 contacts, a large team. They've been on Fellow, which is a big competitor of this style of product. They probably spend $700 to $800 a month on Fellow. And they're switching all of it, leaving Fellow to join this because they just saw the value and all that back end stuff that you just can't make up, the appliances and the touches they get to help them just live in their home, all coming from you. So it's a really great product. And at $18 a month is basically your cost. $199 is basically $18 a month. And it's, again, that one-time fee, each time you produce it, it's gonna be once a year you build that.
And the email that gets sent out is just the generic to our.
Everything's to you. Everything's branded to you. Yep. Every part of it is.
Is it recommended that you expose the fact that you have all of this information because of your program or to the client? Like the mortgage information and things of that nature, they're gonna be asking, how did you know? How do you know?
Well, mortgage information is public record.
Okay,
So when you order a profile, we're gonna give you the mortgage information.
right.
That's all public access.
But for the appliances, the inspector needs to go and register each item that they have.
But it doesn't have to be the inspector, like if you kind of have that do-it-yourself kind of person, they can go scan those themselves and load them right in themselves and not pay the fee.
And there
Takes
is
them about an hour.
On the do it themselves option, it is gonna give them like walk them through how to do it, and it says an estimated time of doing it yourself is anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. Probably would actually take like an hour, but they do have that option to do it themselves.
What are your thoughts in general? What do you think? Yeah, so the flyer you have on your desk has a QR code on it. So if you scan that code, that's how you would actually decide you want to join it. On that QR code, that's how you would decide that you want to take a look at it, join it. So feel free to do that if you want to, okay?
Would you recommend the, you said it's for like a buyer's gift, but then checking the home's value right after purchase the home. Is it good to recommend? Because what if like the home value is lower than what they purchased?
Sure, so I mean, the home value is gonna be like an AVM or an auto valuation model from those 3 services. If it's off, I mean, we can always let our rep know, Alicia, and she might be able to change it on the back end. But the value to the buyer really isn't the home value for me, it's the.
It's all the others.
It's the hub with the services, so I'll use another example. I'm probably on, because I was a title rep in Arizona for 2.5 years. I am probably signed up on 75 HomeBot accounts, 50 fellow accounts, and I can't tell you how many Home IQ texts I get every single month. It's borderline annoying. I do check the home value every now and then, kind of randomly, but I mean, the thing that I look at now is what maintenance do I need to do on my home? Because I never really did any of, I mean, when did I ever clean the coils on my fridge? Never really even thought of cleaning my air ducts. So it's telling me things that I need to do that I didn't even know I needed to do to help my home last longer and help me live in my home better, that I didn't even do or think of doing when I actually lived in those houses.
It's kind of like when you own a car. I know with my kids, I've always told them, look, if you change the oil and change the filters regularly, your car is gonna last a long, right? Everyone's shaking their head, right? No one tells you to do those things in your house. Because no one really knows how old that fridge is and how old that appliance is and how old the heating system, besides an inspection that tells you the heater is 14 years old, but it doesn't talk about the other appliances ever. It just says they work, right? That's all it says. This is going to put every appliance in that home into an account, and then they're gonna know when to change their oil, when to change the filter, just to make it last for more years. It's just like taking care of a car, but it's never been a place that any homeowner has ever had in as long as we know, right? But now there's a place that a homeowner can manage their home and make all those things last longer with your help. Because it's coming from you. There you go.
All right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks,
you.
Linda, you had a question?
And quick question, I'm sorry if I missed this, but is there a limit to the quantity of home buyers that include onto this hub under that 199 for your?
5,000.
Thank you.
So you can upload up to 5,000 contacts, like farm contacts, past clients, that's 5,000. And of that 5,000, you can have up to 500 homeowners who join a hub. That's where they can load their appliances and all that. Now, if you got to 500, the first one to get to 500, I'm not sure what we're gonna do for you, but it'll be something. Okay, I don't know if all you can do.
We're chicken dinner.
It's not as easy as you think, but it's a great tool and a service to offer to build your database, because it's legitimately good. So 500 hubs is a lot. And if you did a couple of farm areas in your past clients and you got to 6,000, they're not gonna call you and say, what's your name?
Karina.
Karina, they're not gonna call you and say, oh, sorry, we're gonna bill you more. They're gonna be flexible in that. If you got to 12,000, they're probably gonna call you and say, we're gonna have to bill you a little bit more, it's too much. But they're not gonna be hard on the 5,000, but 5,000 is a lot. So between that and your past clients.
Awesome, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, rapid fire. We're at the final stretch here. So we got Chris Rivera up on Auburn Financials.
Thank you. Actually, I want to, kind of piggyback on what they were talking about. That's a great program. I do HomeBot myself, and I've been doing it for 5+ years. I've got over, 900 past clients in there. And I can tell you that click rate is 60-70% every month. The one thing a homeowner always wants to know is, what is the value of my house? They'll click on that, and then they're going to see your stuff. So I think that's actually on steroids from HomeBot because they can put in all of their other stuff. So I would definitely go click on that QR code that.
$18 a month is not.
Yeah,
not bad.
it's a great thing. And then once it's done, it's set and forget. It just keeps happening. And it just keeps growing and growing and growing. Because maybe they don't care about the home value day one because they just purchased, but 5 years from today, they are, right? And once you get it in there, it just keeps going. Anyway, that's your plug, Matt. You owe me $20. So anyway, let me give you a market update. A couple things happened this week. Obviously, last Wednesday, you guys got the announcement that we've got the Fed's fund rate cut, which is great. It's the first of many. We do anticipate at least one more, possibly two more before the end of the year. Rates did tickle up just a little bit from last week, but that's always what happens. The market plays in any kind of rate cut prior to the rate cut, and that's exactly what happened. So on Wednesday, after they cut it, rates went up just a little bit, but we're still there. Conforming still is about 6%. Under 806 is the loan amount. High balance and jumbo pricing, they're still right about 6.25, 6.3, just depending on the FICO score and LTV, that sort of thing. But they're in great territories, and we do anticipate them to continue to slide. Although, as I said before, I don't anticipate a big knee-jerk reaction downward. I think we're going to stay here for a while, and the Feds know what they're doing. They're going to allow us to stay here, which is going to open up a lot of opportunities for everyone at 6%. Sellers will get out there, buyers are going to be off the fence and wanting to buy. So rates are in great territories. You should be out there pounding the pavement right now, letting them know, hey, this is the time to buy. Because rates will go down into the fives. And we may even see sub 5. Might happen in 2027. But when those rates get there, they're going to want to refi their property. And they can only refi if they own a property, right? So that's why you got to push them in now. This is the time to buy before rates go down and jack up sale prices. And with that, we also got the announcement this week. Fannie Mae came out with their new loan limits. So for 2026, they're getting increased. Well, right now, conforming is 806,500. That's going up to 819. And what that tells us is the direction from Fannie and Freddie, they feel the market's going to continue to rise. That's why they've increased their loan limits. So we're now going to be able to do conforming loans all the way up to 1.229 as a loan amount, and you can still get Fannie and Freddie type guidelines where you can use non-occupant co-borrowers, not qualify, all that good stuff, higher ratios than jumbo financing. So anyway, we'll speak more about that later, but I just wanted to let you know that there's some really good stuff that's coming out in the marketplace. Stay tuned, but rates are right where they need to be, so go hunt. Happy hunting, guys.
Awesome. Okay, let's rapid fire. Next slide, please. All right, upcoming events. Just a friendly reminder, we have our KW Canva in person. It's a 30-minute per day. The Long Beach office is having them on September 22nd, 24th, 25th, and 26th. If you want to take advantage on Zoom, you can go in person, but you can also do it on Zoom. Just take Photoshop of the Zoom link, and that'll take you to the registration. Next slide. All right, ask an expert. We're going to be pivoting. Instead of having them every week, we're going to have a once a month. But for the month of September, we're still going to continue. So this coming Thursday, tomorrow, from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., we're going to have one of the AOC members actually having an opportunity to pick their brain and give ideas and strategies of what is working for them. So again, ask an expert. That's part of AOC that they wanted to give back to the agents as an opportunity to navigate the challenges and struggles, because all of us have that gap sometimes in our business. So it's a great opportunity to just have a kind of conversation with some of these top producers that are crushing it and closing out deals every single month. Next slide. And then we have our 1031 exchange. That's Thursday, the 25th at 11 o'clock. It'll be on Zoom. So if you want to know more about 1031 exchange investments and all that, Phil Anawan is an amazing, been in the industry for a very long time, very respected in the industry. So he'll be doing his class on Zoom tomorrow. Next slide. And just a friendly reminder, our contract classes are every Friday, 10:30 to 11:30. We're gonna be going over the misunderstanding when working with tenants and landlords, the ins and outs with all of the changes going on with tenant rights, landlords, do's and don'ts. Please, all of the sessions are recorded too as well. Next slide. And we talked about, okay, so the chili cook-off potluck, it'll be Wednesday, October 8th. Please, if you are interested in being part of the competition, register. I know we had some last week already sign up for it, so please, or bring your favorite dish as well. So it's not just chili, but it can be, you know, baked potatoes, salad, chips, or whatever you want to bring to this event. Please make sure to register. Next slide. And again, Halloween office door contest. We're going to be starting it soon. So looking forward to that as well. Next slide. And then our Halloween party, costumes and office decoration. We'll have music as we traditionally have here every year, and that's going to be on October 30th, one day before Halloween. That's going to be, was it Thursday or Friday? I believe. Yeah, so it's going to be cool. Just again, make sure to RSVP with Natalie, so that way we at least have a head count and who's going to be here. Next slide. And Jason Abram, okay, October 6th is just around the corner. It's a small investment, okay, $25. Now, I'm in competition with the other offices. I'm tied with Coastal. Can I get a commitment to get more of you to join us at this event? Jason, if you don't know, he's the head of industry and learning for KW International. This guy is awesome. I encourage you, please, if you're interested, a $25 investment is not that bad to really get a lot of nuggets and ideas and strategies as we get into 2026. So on top of it, I'm asking because I want to win as many KW South Bay agents to register. It's all about competition for me as well. So well, let me see how much am I paying. What if I do this? What if I could tell you? What if I could tell you that if I invest, I got two. If I can get you a ticket for $5 and I invest $20 on you, who's in? All right.
You signed up.
Okay, but you gotta promise me that if I give you $20 that you're gonna register today and pay for that $5, it's $25 I'm investing in you. So whoever wants to come up and get the $20. There you go, sir. And there you go. All right. Give them a round of applause, guys. All right. Oh, you need to register, okay? That's the $5. I just gave you $20 to invest, okay? So you're helping me achieve my goals, all right? I'm a broker. And there's a saying. There was a saying many years ago, is your broker making you broker? No, to answer your question, I'm not broke, so. All right, it's a slide. I appreciate it. Make sure, Nina's PC program.